now between Newton and Bernie Sanders and the former vice president, Colin. Different candidates who were really across the board on fundamentals of our family line, on healthcare, on education, on living. And the fact that they are presenting maybe in the end going to bring everyone together because I don't know if we disagree on some details. Like, we know that it's a very good thing. It's a Super Bowl year. We still don't know who the moderates for the Congress. What is it going to be doing? Why that side? You know, until exclusively the border going to be a leader on the progressive side. I think it's a race right now going into New Hampshire. I must say that I think that the fact there is this competition means that there's that much more energy and focus on these individuals. And real functioning candidates that say, we say, I'm already against the nomination, 110%. We are so far off track. We're damaged and working America and increasing quality and there's going to be a lot to work with in so we can do Okay, for anyone who's watching right now, I will be right with you. I am in the process of contacting some people. I will be right with you. Just don't go anywhere. Have some patience, and I'll be right with you. Have patience, and I will be right with you. I'll be right with you. I'm right with you. Just be patient. I will be right with you. Be right with you. Just a second. Hey there. Hello, hello. Hello, Tatia Bonds. I'm fine. How does Jameson feel about you? What's the outcome? All right. I will get right to that then. One moment then, okay? And hello, Bonita. 1 second. Being sticky. I hate it when it's being sticky. You're quite welcome. You're quite welcome. Just 1 second, please, to check on something real quick here. Okay. You're very welcome.
Sorry about that. I promise you, I'm a lot more together than this. All right. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle these cards for you, Tatiana Bonds, and we'll see how Jameson feels about you then. About what his feelings for you and what the outcome will be. All right. Just let me shuffle the cards. Usually, if you were in my presence, what I would have you do is shuffle the cards yourself, of course, because that's generally how it's done. Generally, you're very welcome. Generally, the cards would be shuffled by you, and then I would have you ask your question while shuffling the cards, and then I would take the cards back, and then we would find out how Jameson feels about you and what the outcome of that would be. Okay, Bonita, I will get back to you and your question in a second as soon as I'm done with Miss Tatiana Bonds here. Okay? All right. I appreciate you for your patience, though. Now, also in forewarning to you, ladies, these cards, i.e., the tarot, and most tarot card readers will tell you, psychics will tell you, guides can be very, very tricky sometimes. They love to play around with the readers and such like that. It's nothing personal or anything like that. They just like to be very rascally. So I have to remind them that we're doing something very pleasant and good here and to behave themselves. It'll be fine. They'll be good. I promise they're on their best behavior. Deep breaths. We're going to center ourselves, okay? I'm going to take some deep breaths in. All right, so here is what we're going to do. And I always do this. I always read from what the creator of the decks wrote, and then I add my own take in from the energies you're giving, from the energies from the cards, and we go from there. Okay? Awesome. The first card that was drawn for you, Tatiana Bonds, in question of this lovely Jameson, is the Two of Swords. Two of Swords. Can you see that? Okay. Don't be always alarmed by what you see on the images, okay? Those are just beautiful renderings. Beautiful renderings, okay? Beautiful rendering. Beautiful, beautiful drawings, okay? Two of Swords. She's in here somewhere, I promise you. Two of Swords, Two of Swords. Ah. Here she is. Now this is what the book says thus far. Okay, this is the Two of Swords, the fulcrum of the mind. Perfect, because we want to find out what Jameson feels, etc., etc. And the outcome. Come to find me on the shores of the world, in all the in-between places of life. Meet me at the crossroads of every possibility, and at the turning point of every tide. Okay. Um, Find me between the paradoxes and at the birth of paradox, for I am that which occurs in between change, the state between change states, when your mind conceives conceives of the idea, I am the intake of breath and the pause before you speak it. When you entertain a choice, I am the moment of stillness before the decision. Everyone still here? Everyone, everyone still here? Tatiana, Tatiana, Bonita, check. Okay, all right. Did you hear that last part about the pause before you speak it? When you entertain a choice, I am the moment of stillness before the decision. Okay, that's a description of your first card. Now, this first card is what we always call the present um, from your past, right? Because this is the card that drives the vehicle moving towards the future. It's the foundation card. It's very important because without this, you have no base. You have nothing from which to build from. A lot of people get kind of confused and bedazzled and everything when I try to explain this to them. So I try to put them at ease by saying, no, 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 no. Don't be afraid. Don't be scared. It's just very important that you have this because it supports the rest of your reading, is what it does. It just kind of gives you a jumping point. Yeah, a reference point. A save point if you play games a lot. This is your save point. Yeah. Okay. I do my best. Now there are connections in this reading um, that will help you out. Okay, so here it goes. Um, these are possible things, so just bear in mind, and I will tell you what I think they are after I've read them. There's pause during decision making, being at the crossroads, fear of a decision, change being imminent, the balance between two options, being in two minds, choice presented, change is the only constant, weighing up your options, paradox, stillness during changing states. Okay, so we're talking about Jameson. How does he feel about you and what's the outcome? So, in this respect, talking about Jameson, right? Um, there was a there was a possible pause before a decision was made, most likely on your part and probably even on his part too, which is natural, right? Okay, these are two people, you and Jameson. You have to make a decision. Do you proceed with something? Do you not proceed with something, right? I mean, that's really what that is. Move forward, don't move forward. It's a curious thing though, right? Tatiana? It's just a curious thing. It's just curious though. Where does it what is it? What exactly are those feelings, right? I mean on both parts, to be honest. Because there's something there, it's strong. I definitely can feel it from here. Like it's like singing. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Um, there was a fear of a decision in there, I think, on both parts, right? Yeah. What happens if you go forward? What happens if you don't go forward? You know, do yeah, yeah, there was that. Um, yeah, very, very fearful. But then there was a choice presented on both sides. I think, especially, I think from I think from Jameson. Yeah, I get that very much from Jameson. Um, there's a huge paradox between these two people, between yourself and Jameson. And what I mean by paradox is that it's a cool kind of a paradox, Tatiana. It's cool, right? Because they're like there's an intertwining here that you wouldn't expect, but it does make sense. I don't know how else to put it, but it's there. Oh, I can explain that. A choice would be like, does Jameson go ahead and go forward past like confusing stuff? Right. Like, does Jameson move forward even though there's been so many confusing and confounding elements and other things going forward, that sort of thing, right? Because there's like it's like having a whole crowd of voices all saying me, but they're not all me. Yeah, and Jameson would have to listen closely to hear, to see, to intuit me. That makes any sense to you, Tatiana? Should hope so. I'm right in the middle of reading for Tatiana, and then I believe if Bonita is back, I have a reading for her, and then whoever is on, you are next. Okay, so hang it. I'm on the first card, believe it or not. All right, and then of course we got to paradox, which is like it's odd, but it makes sense because it's connected. Who knows, right? But the energies are there, and the energies are great. I feel that very strongly. Okay, so the second card for your reading, Tatiana, is the Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands. Yeah, yeah, I feel that too. But not like fatally lost, if that makes any sense for you, Tatiana. Just kind of a little lost. Yeah, good catch. Good catch on your part. Wow, good catch on your part. A lot of people wouldn't have caught that probably uh, for your person that you're thinking about probably. My guides are saying good catch. Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands. Let's see what this young strapping fellow has to say. Oh, let's see. Okay, this is the strength of will. Okay, strength of will. Um, a true warrior fights even with the gravest of injuries, yet he knows how to choose his battles carefully. You can feel the ache of a wound, know your weakness, and acknowledge the strength of your enemies, and this is your most dependable strength. The real battle does not take place in the gaps between blades, but in the will and mind of the warrior. When your will is strong and you wait, watching the tide of battle, awaiting the opportune moment for all of your conserved energy to be released towards your goal, then you are a true warrior. From here, you may act as the tide of battle flows, and no movement nor blow shall be wasted. Yet, be prepared for the pain of the burn as you wait, as you maintain your defense, as your muscles protest for want of either stillness or action, and know that this pain you feel now serves to remind you of the most vital of all things. You are still alive. That's pretty. That's pretty strong right there, right? That's a strong imagery just from this card right there. Uh, in that about the Jameson, what does he feel? What is it moving forward with the two of you and everything? Uh, so perhaps I don't know. I don't think so. I think that what that says is that he's been through some battles. Let's see what the possible outcomes of that card is. The Wounded Warrior, Perseverance, Perseverance, Strength of Will, Never Giving Up, Fighting despite loss or injury, fighting a losing battle, conserving your energy for the opportune moment, being given no respite or let up, being in the eye of the storm, out of the frying pan and into the fire. I think that that's what it is. I think that the Jameson has been through a lot of trials, and he probably has. I get the sense he's a fighter. He's a warrior. He's tough. Whoever this person is, he's tough, right? So part of the maybe being lost is that he's been through these fights, you know, and maybe he still has fights. Maybe he still, maybe he still has fights ahead of him. Maybe he will always have fights in his life, conflicts and things. I mean, and maybe that's why he's hesitant to have people in his life, any kind of people in his life, maybe he's kind of sees himself as a person that uh, it could be he doesn't see himself as a person who's worthy of love or any of that sort of thing. He might feel like he's putting people he loves in danger all the time for just being around him. But he accepts the close friends in his life because he depends on them. They depend on him too. His family is not going to certainly walk away from him because, well, they're his family. So, you know, but he's always isolated himself. I think from this reading that I'm getting from this card, uh, yeah, like a tornado. He's a moving storm. Yeah, yeah, I get that. I get that from him. He moves around and it's like, boom. He's a walking storm. This guy, but he doesn't. He doesn't mean to. Uh, he wants to do better. He wants to be a better person, and I think he would want to be a better person with you. Definitely, and you can probably help him a lot, Tatiana. I think that would help him, keep him centered. Yes, yes, you can, Chiara. You sure may. Oh, we'll just keep trying. Keep trying. He'll get there. He'll get there. So my words for you would be perseverance, strength of will. Okay, I'm right in the middle of the reading right now, um, Jariana. Okay, but I will get to yours as soon as I get to finish up Miss Tatiana Bonds here. Okay. Okay. Alrighty. Now, alrighty now. Here we go. Last card for you, Tatiana. You're reading? Yes, Bonita is next. Bonita is definitely next. Because there's a list. Chariot. Tatiana, the chariot. Here it is, the chariot. Okay. For your last card, Tatiana, I've got the chariot for you. Okay. The soul extended in action. The soul is a chariot drawn by horses and driven by a charioteer. Okay. Those that know the nature of the soul know that it is not a still, silent creature, but rather a whirling force of fire, extending outwards in action, carried forth into the world by intention, the body, speech, and reason. The soul is like the questing hero searching the wide world for challenge, questions, and answers. I am your soul, brave quester. I am the force of your soul, your facility of reason and control. All of these things must be yoked to the urges of the soul so that victory can be attained. There is a long path stretching before you, and without these allies to pull you onwards, you would fail. You will not give up because you cannot. The quest is there, and though you chose your and though you close your eyes and turn away, the chariot of your soul will still be drawn forwards, but the reins will be held too loosely in your hands, and the momentum of your unruly steeds will drag you in ignorance to catastrophe. Dare to take the reins of your soul, have the courage and strength of arms to exert your control and will upon yourself, and ride forth into the world assured of victory. Okay? So you got the imagery there, Tatiana? All right. Um, Gaining momentum and speed, swift, assured victory, facing a situation head on, progress, movement of all kinds, exerting control, prolonged burst of activity, intention carried forward as action, controlling the lower self, the quest and journey, moving towards a clear goal. So putting all this massive reading together, Tatiana, in regards to Jameson feelings and what what it means moving forward. Uh, I totally and completely get that uh, you and Jameson moving forward is exactly that, moving towards a clear goal. Uh, there will be a burst of activity with that situation, strongly gaining momentum and speed. There's an assured victory most likely in that situation. Also, I can see that uh, pretty strongly. Um, so, uh, in any relationship, there's going to have the hiccups and this is the hiccups and the disagreements and the what so forth and so on. And that's just natural. That's going to happen. There are going to be arguments and disagreements and all that sort of thing. But I think overall, it's just going to be the relationship is going to be what it's going to be, overall, which is going to be most likely good. Um, I don't really think I see anything else other than that. I mean, yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Yeah, totally. Yeah, no, I understand. Just be there for him as much as you can physically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. Um, and if I can say, if you have not had much chance on the physical part, do what you can. You know what I mean? You're welcome. You're very much welcome. Anytime, Tatiana, you need a reading, I'm right here. Well, aroundish somewhere. Okay, Bonita, you're next. Apologies for all the confusion. All right, Bonita, you're next. Apologies for all the confusion. Go ahead and state. Okay. What can I tell you about your life? You're single? Okay. I will tell you about your life. Love life. All right. Here we go. Temperance is your first card. Okay. Temperance. For those of you tuning in, let's read your first card for you, Bonita. Okay. Temperance. Temperance. Good card to get, by the way. Lovely card to get. Where are you trying to hide from me? Hide from me, Temperance lady. I swear. They play tricks on me all the time. Naughty cards. Uh, Ah, here she is. The angel of the middle way, temperance. There is fire and there is water. There is man and woman, earth and sky, life and death, being and not being, and I stand between them all. Many see them as black and white, opposites between which there stands a barrier that neither side may cross. But there is only me. I am the mediator that stands on the middle way, the path to unity through tempering and moderation. Everything is in flux. And when you realize this, you can adapt everything, mix it and mingle it, throw it into all throw it all into a boiling cauldron and create something from that milieu that is a greater that is greater than the sum of its parts. I am beyond unity. I am that which comes from it, yet I am also the process by which it is created. Walk my path with your feet, both wet and dry, from the river that will never be the same when you return to it, and you shall know the mysteries of alchemy. You shall be given the knowing of being two things, all things at once. Let your life be at work of art, a creative process of fluidity and adaptation. God dang it, my tongue tied. Blah. Adaptation. Um, Never the strict rules of access one way or the other. Let yourself be the cauldron in which the mixture brews, and let yourself be the philosopher's stone created therein. Ooh, good description of that image. Temperance in moderation, avoiding excess, virtue instead of vice, finding a middle way, mingling many different approaches, eclecticism, flux, meditation, mediation, creating something greater than the sum of its parts, unity of opposing forces to create something. So, love life. This is the present building from the past, moving into the future. It's your first card. So, Bonita, I think what I'm looking at here is that um, looking forward into a new relationship, perhaps, you're taking the parts of everything that's ever been in your love life, your previous love lives, and everything else, looking for newer ways to approach perhaps a new possibility of a love life moving forward, right? This is why alchemy is such a like an amazing thing, right? You take all these parts of the things that you liked and that you really loved and cherished, and you can put it into something newer and maybe a little bit different, but it still has that quality that you loved and cherished so much from the past experiences and present experiences and things like that, right? And create something wonderful and brand new and powerful even, right? So here here are the words that I was stuck with. I think that finding a middle way, right? Virtue instead of vice. Now, I will say why virtue instead of vice. Now, people get all tricky and crazy when they hear that term thrown together. I look at it more like quality over quantity, but not even that so much. More like being strongly bonded. Yeah, yeah, that stronger connection, right? That deeper connection between two bodies, two minds, two souls at the same time. That's what I'm talking about. It's not so much two people banging the hell out of each other, for example. That's good. That's pleasurable. Hell, we all like that. And we all feel a connection to that on a spiritual level too. But when you are really connected to someone, when your souls are really connected to each other, your spirits and your minds, your flesh and everything's all really connected to one another, and that deeper level, that's when you know that you're one person. You know, when you experience that, when you get to really experience that, that's when you know that that is the greatest sex you're ever going to have in your life. So I've been told by people who are deeply in love with one another. Maybe in your love life, because you're single, that's what you're searching for. Perhaps you are maybe feeling the beginnings of an energy with someone right now that could possibly have that. I don't know, but we'll see. Let's look at your next card. Madam Justice. I always tell people in every reading I ever give, when she appears in your reading, whatever the reading is, don't mess with this woman because she will get you. She will put you on the scales and she will tell you what it is. I love this woman. All right, justice. Here we go. The scales of cosmic balance. Perfect. For every action, there is a reaction. For every cause, there is an effect. Excuse me. I stand at the very center of all consequences. Excuse me, of all consequences. The still yet dynamic processes by which the balance of the universe is maintained. I am the fulcrum, the tiptoe stand at the center. Some say I am blind, but I see all. I do not judge, nor do I give value to one thing over another. I simply calculate, for the universe is at one great calculation. Known, know the formula, and you will see things give how one thing gives way to another. The creation of something will always require displacement of another, and the subtle balance of your world depends upon nature, red in tooth and claw, playing its role as swift creator, preserver, and destroyer. In my cosmic scales, you may find a reflection of your own justice, and in that, you must also know that all your deeds have a consequence and a price. You tip the scales one way or another with every moment of your being. But do not let the talk of mortality and law confound you. To pass through the veil that I guard, you must first understand that you too stand at the fulcrum of the cosmic balancing act, and that you are a part of the web of cause and effect, action and reaction, tied to every living being upon the earth. This web cannot be broken, and knowing this, you might yet find your heart weighs in the balance of a feather in my scales and pass through the veil. So, bearing that in mind, Miss Bonita, we all have connections and we all have, people call it sins. That's fine. It's a fine word. That's okay. I'm fine with that. We'll have actions and reactions and things of so forth and so on, the ties that bind us and so on. Very true. Um, Consequences must be paid. Um, like I always tell people, um, because of my gifts and everything, I pay a price for those gifts. Very simple exchange. Uh, Universe gives, universe takes. God gives, God takes. I mean, that's just how things are. And looking forward, you're single and in love life, you're looking for something, um, and your actions looking forward, you know, come with that price. But no, wait. It's not a good or bad thing. Okay, so don't look at it as a black and white exchange. That's just so silly. Um, it's nothing like that at all. It's not like something you're going to have to give up something or sacrifice something or whatever. No, no, I don't think so at all. No, no, no. I think it's more like it's an equal exchange because this person you will be looking for is an equal exchange for you too, right? That's how I see it. It has to balance out, right? The scales have to balance. Yeah. So let's look at what the meaning of the card could have for you. Balance, adjustment, consequence, and effects, weighing things up. See, being at the fulcrum of a balancing act, equilibrium, maintaining the center, justice, morality, and law with order. I'm going to try. Tatya, you need some clarity? Hang on just a second. Let me finish my reading with Bonita here, and I will give you some clarity on something, okay? Hang on just a second. Okay, here we go. All right, Bonita. Let's look at some balance and adjustment on your part, okay? Um, Maintaining the center, justice, morality, and law and order, right? Does it make sense? You want to make sure that there's always a balance for you and whoever the possible person would be for you when you find that one for you in your life. Does this make sense? Bonita, are you still there? Okay, Bonita, did you understand that? Does that make any sense to you? Did you get any of it? What I said? Hello? You guys there? Bonita, did that make any sense to you? The last card I read? Hello, Bonita. Did it make any sense to you? Bonita, did that make any sense to you? The last card I read to you? Any at all? What was the what was the clarity you needed, Tatiana? I'll wait for Bonita to catch back up. What was the clarity you needed? He feels very strongly for you. I just don't know if he knows how to express it all the way out. Yeah, that's what I mean. He feels very strongly for you. I'm just not sure if he knows how to completely express it all the way out. Yeah. Does that make sense? Yeah. I think he's trying to figure it out, like how he's going to say it or something. I don't know, but I'm like 80 something percent sure he has very strong. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I mean he's like I'm going to share something with you, Tatiana, and maybe this will help you help him. Um, all my life, since I was a kid, I had a hard time expressing things to people uh, because I had a pretty tough life. I didn't realize what it was until I got much older. But I had a multiple personality disorder situation going on. Now, none of my multiple people ever came straight out and named themselves directly. So, no one caught on, but that's essentially what I had. And so for my entire life, I had a lot of problems expressing myself on how I felt about any number of things. So it was very, really, really hard for me with my parents and close friends and things like that. So I don't know if that's what he has. I can't label him in any situation like that, but I can understand uh, how that is a problem for a lot of people, and I can empathize with him on that. Um, so it's really really hard for people to express themselves um, when they have uh, something like that going on with them. So yeah, uh, that's what I would say. I mean, just help him figure out. I think the guides would say for you to just do your best and see if you can help him figure out what it is he wants to express to you so that it can be helpful for you and for him. Hi, happily ever after. Well, good. That'll help out. I'm doing good, and how are you doing today? Your first time here? Well, welcome. You're welcome. I don't mind. I don't mind asking people how they're doing. It's the only polite thing to do. Oh, you're you're welcome. There was one more card, Bonita. Did you want the last card read for you, or was that enough for you? All right, one more card for you. Sorry, happily ever after. As soon as I'm done reading the last card for someone, you are up next. The world. Okay, here we go. It's the world. These cycles of completion and beginning. Okay, Bonita? The cycles of beginning and completion. cycles of completion and beginning. The great road is long, and you have walked its winding dirt forever in a day. All of life's trials and tribulations are lessons and opportunities that allow you to grow and become a fully aware participant in the dance of life. You know now, looking back, how much can be learned from them. And you can see also how much you have changed. Change is inevitable, and you can never go back the way you came, never return to the point of origin. Though you may still be inspired by it, you may yet find your feet being set on a new path and a new origin with a new destination. There is always more out there waiting for you, traveler, and you will never be too wary for the treading. Now you are a rhythm dancer in the joy of life, knowing what it is to move on with the beat of yourself and the universe, knowing the reflection between the two and embodying all to be found between them. Now you and I both stand at the infinitesimally small point between ending and beginning. And here you are at the center of the world, the product of all your experiences and the synthesis of all your learning. Dance with me now in the movement in this moment and with no past or future, just the now, just your birthright being danced out in the beat of your world. It is awareness and it is illumination. All right. So because you're single and you're asking about uh, your possible love life moving forward, and we were talking about the other things before, um, Bonita, let's go ahead and tie this in for a completion. So the cycle is complete, right? Um, Endings giving way to new beginnings. Like we were talking about the alchemy situation, where you take the parts from your past situations and your present situations, and you put them forward into a new one to make the better thing. We're talking about how the soul connects on that deeper level of the mind, the body, and the spirit, so that everything is much more in tune and better. Uh, so when you find this person, or if you may have someone that you're connecting with now that you feel like could be that person for you, this card is telling you um, that cycle is going to come around to a full completion for you. Um, um, Celebrating life, having everything you need, you know. So congratulations. You're going to have a very fulfilled love life moving forward. I hope that made some sense for you, Bonita. Um, I don't know where, when, how, or in what context this love life of yours, since you're single, is going to happen, or where it's going to happen, or how it's going to happen. But it's definitely out there somewhere, uh, waiting for you. So good fortune to you. And now for everyone else, just a moment, please. I'm reshuffling the cards, getting their energy neutral. Okay, feng shui. You're welcome. A and M work together in feng shui end of this year. Okay. Ready? You're welcome. You're very welcome. Shuffle around these cards here a little bit, and then I'm going to. Yes, thank you for that. Thank you very much for that. Yes. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. Okay. 1 second while I get a sip of soda. I need to have my throat slightly oiled. Please excuse the mess of my domain. Ah, much better. Goodness. All right. First card is the Queen of Pentacles. Here. Oh, you like this deck too? I do too. Queen of Pentacles, the nurturing Mother Earth. Here we go. The deepest secrets of Earth flow only in one direction: life. Life will always find a way. It will flow through and around all obstacles, and it will perpetuate itself. Think how the entirety of the global ecosystem you inhabit feeds itself. One part of it sustaining and supporting the other, one big flow of life around in a cycle of death, rebirth, and transformation. When your body returns to the earth, I am the process through which you in turn feed it. And once, as it once fed you, there is no end to my bounty, for I am eternal harvest and renewal. They say the first of the harvest is always for the gods, but it should also be the last harvest that goes to them to ensure that a seed of the old replenishes the and feeds the seed of the new. Therefore, recognize your body as the miracle it is and bear witness to all around you. In every moment, to that perfect self perpetuating cycle that sustains you. Themes and concepts. Nurturing others and yourself, a motherly figure, somebody who heals the body, health considerations and diet, caring for the environment, sustenance and nutrition, a time to harvest, a particular person who aids others, being in tune with the cycles of the seasons. So here's what my guides are singing in my ear right now, happily ever after, in connection with the reading. Uh, work together in a feng shui towards the end of the year. Um, Cycles are very important, as everyone knows from the old wives' tales and things like that. And if you were like me, I grew up around a lot of women in the household, grandmothers and aunts and sisters and things like that. So um, growing up, I heard all the stories of centered around nature and that kind of thing like that. How gardens were important and certain plants and herbs and things of this thing. Um, how they impacted your health, uh, what properties they have for the body, and so forth and so on. Uh, so I've grown to have an appreciation of that my entire life. Uh, So, what does this have to do with the connections to your reading, you ask? Ha 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 ha. Get ready to be surprised. In association with feng shui, it has everything to do with harmony and balance and movement and rhythm and vibrations and so on and so forth. So also does eating properly, having the proper amount of rest, having the proper amount of attunement to all things around you, so on and so forth. So moving forward, I'm going to pull these words. Um, this is very, very good. There has to be a time to harvest. Okay, there needs to be a time to harvest for this couple. They have to harvest their emotions, their togetherness, if you will. They have to find that moment where they are in harmony with each other, because there are going to be times when they're not going to be in harmony. Now, and towards the moment of their wedding or their ceremony or whatever it is that they do that binds them together as man and wife or mate or whatever it is. Because um, very, very much interesting that this ties into several of the readings I've done so far today. And I find that interesting, happily ever after, because almost all of my readings always usually tie in to each other uh, in one way or another. As I was giving readings to others today, I'm mindful of this, where uh, when two souls come together to become one, it is so very important that they understand that they must achieve the oneness by remembering that they are human. And in this respect, your couple must uh, remind themselves they are human first. And as humans, we often find ways to sabotage one another. Um, it's like our go-to thing, you know. We just do that. It's built into us. It's hardwired. So, in order to find harmony, like in the essence of the word feng shui, we must learn to move the objects of ourselves, the objects of our environment, the objects of our the way in which we eat together, sleep together, move and walk together in such a way that there is not as many obstacles. So there must be a good harvest. And that is the word I wish to uh, relay to you, to perhaps relay to your couple. It is a very, very good form of vitality. Um, I studied kung fu for a little while uh, back in my youth, and my sifu, my sifu uh, was very, very good at instructing me on that with a staff. All right, let's move on to your second card. Oh, perfect. Yes, perfect imagery too. And this is the Hierophant. The Hierophant. Oh, I do too. It's why I was drawn towards them. I just got these recently. I was drawn to this deck uh, very strongly. Where's the Hierophant? Where are you hiding from me, sir? Ah, here we are. The Hierophant, the institution of the sacred, which is so true. This figure is an institution, it's the institution of the sacred. All things that are sacred. Millennia have passed, and the lives of many men and women have come and gone. In their place, they have left history, and in that history, they have left a treasure trove, treasure house of wisdom, experience, knowledge, and teachings. It is from this collective storehouse of past wisdom and knowledge that tradition arises, and the most effective means by which these traditions might be taught and accessed, organizations, institutions, such things were originally intended as a safe and stable environment for the passing on of tradition and the wisdom contained therein. When you step into my church, wisdom seeker, you step into the rich tradition upon which it is built. When you seek knowledge from me, you also take your rightful place in the loving line of all those other knowledge hungry acolytes and neophytes. I am the messenger of that great and noble wisdom that millions seek, and which is offered to them every moment by those who have taken on the mantle of Hierophant, the revealer of the sacred. I can show you the mysteries and hand you the keys to the doors of knowledge, but you must know that the receiving of traditional wisdom from a teacher is a necessary step to any true path of knowing. So very true. So here we have couple A and M reaching an achievement of feng shui towards the end of this year, so they can have a happy coupling, so they can have a happy life moving forward as best as possible. So here's what the Hierophant has to say as a teacher of great wisdom, as an instructor of the sacred would say. Um, Perhaps the Buddha, if you will, or Confucius, or any of these great Eastern teachers, in comparison to the Western teachers, or even to the Western God, if you will. All agree on these very same principles, and that's love one another, right? You have to have love for one another. You have to have harmony, like we were talking about earlier. Uh, there has to be an agreement between the two parties, if you will. But I'm going to read what the words in the bottom say, because I'm pretty sure they're going to say the same thing. Organizations and institutions, spiritual authority, memory, traditional teachings. I'm going to stick on the word traditional teachings for this one for you, um, in context, because I think that's going to be very, very important for your couple. Um, I sense that they're going to be very traditional in this situation. I think that'll be helpful for them. Um, uh, there should be there should be teachers and priests involved in this situation with this couple also. Now I don't know what their uh, I'm going to use that word religious uh, bringing is. I'm a spiritual Christian. That's how I describe myself as, um, versus the term um, religious Christian. The reason I say that for is because I have nothing against religious Christians whatsoever. I'm a spiritual Christian in respect that I come straight from the absolute Word of God. That's me. The absolute Bible itself. That's me. Uh, but I I do not try to dog down anyone's belief system whatsoever. If someone chooses to believe in Buddha, I'm not going to disagree with them. I will talk to them and see if I can not on my wave. If not, they're and they're happy with who they are. I say all blessings upon God be upon you and move on. But that's just me. But I do say there should be some teachers and priests perhaps uh, with this couple. Um, let them learn from the past and learn from the experience of others. That's going to be very important for them to let them learn from the past, let them learn from the experience of other people around them, other couples around them. Uh, Hello, I am Satan. That's kind of creepy. I'm right in the middle of the reading here, but I will be right with you. Okay, but I would suggest that they get with other couples because that's very helpful too. Um, okay, all right. One more card for you happily ever after, and that's going to be the Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles, Two of Pentacles, Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles, happily ever after. Here we go. This is learning the dance of change. Learning the dance of change. This is a very good card. I love this card also very much. When the weight of the world is first gifted to you, you will discover that the earth beneath you is not solid. What you thought was rock is instead shifting shingle. What you thought was fertile earth is quicksand. Let yourself fall into the lie of certainty, believing yourself capable of holding onto everything forever, and you will soon discover your failure. The tree that bends in the wind does not break. Invite you, the student of the world, to join me. I invite you, student of the world, to join me in the dance of change. It is a simple two-step. It is nothing more than a gentle shift of weight, a tilting of the hands. Sometimes it feels like being borne upon the waves, up and down over the roiling sea. And when you find yourself on dry land once more, upon immovable rock, your legs will protest and wish they were once again back upon the shifting, changing world ocean, doing the dance to change. So, yeah, right? Um, we you need to learn to have sea legs in this life, and you also need to learn uh, take your steps where you can, find your footing, and in the situation of your reading with the people who are the couple, uh, who couple A&M for their feng shui towards the end of the year, they're going to definitely need to learn how to take the steps together. Uh, in harmony, definitely need to learn how to dance their life together, uh, for sure. So change is the only certainty. Learning to adapt to a situation, being flexible, juggling responsibilities, learning that you cannot hold on to things forever, becoming a student of life, changing perspective, embracing a new lifestyle, knowing the daily ups and downs of life. Everything I just read at the bottom of that is applicable to your reading wholesale, happily ever after for your couple. Um, I'm assuming it's not for you per se, or what if it is for you, then it is applicable to you wholesale, the entire reading. Everyone has to learn to divide and conquer. Oh, yeah. They got to learn to dance this thing together. They're going to have to accept change. Change is going to be one very, 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 very prominent thing for this couple. I can sense it so very strongly. Happily ever after. You're going to have to really tell them they better get ready for some change because change is coming. It's very certain, very, very, very certain. Uh, they better be ready for it because it's going to be constant for them. And they come across as bickering sometimes to me. Um, well, who doesn't bicker though? To be honest, I'm so happy you did too. Um, Anytime that I'm on. Okay, folks, thank you so much. Um, Subscribe to the channel if you would like. I would appreciate that very much. Subscribe if you will. Um, this is at the end of my shift. Much love and blessings to you too as well. Um, I have some things to take care of, but please do subscribe. I will be back on sometime in the next few days or so. I wish you many bright blessings and love and joy in your lives. I am totally sorry, but this is the end of my ride. Everyone take care and just subscribe to my channel. And when I'm back on, if I didn't get a reading for you today, I will try my very best to get one for you soon. Peace, love, and happiness to everyone.